Alright everyone, so some of you may know that I am a BMX rider. You might have seen some of the videos on my channel, or you just might know me as a BMX rider. So obviously one of the most important things for me and my van is to have storage space for my BMX underneath the bed. You may have seen on a lot of people's like Instagrams and stuff or van tours that they have special fork clamps for their bikes, mostly mountain bikes, when they have like the pull-out drawers and stuff, and they have special fork clamps for their bikes to be securely fastened in their garage space underneath their bed. Some of those fork clamps are actually quite expensive and they do not need to be. Today I'm going to be making a DIY version of the fork clamp for your bicycle storage. Let's get this going. So before we get started, I just wanted to show you this new addition to the van. Check these out. Look at that. Ganesh curtains. So for those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you might actually recognise where this has came from. Just comment below if you recognise where this sheet came from. But yeah, my mum made these, custom made, thermal lined curtains. Can't thank her enough. Right, let's get to it. There's basically only two things you need to make this. Number one is an old bicycle wheel with a quick release axle. That's one of these, okay? So I had this off my old road bike. I built a new one, I got new wheels, and I kept these wheels just because. But what I'm going to do is use the axle and the quick release. So I'm going to take those out of this wheel first. And then the other things you need is just two L brackets. So first of all, what I'm going to do is take the axle out of this wheel. Okay, so first of all, you just want to undo the quick release and just set that to one side. If you're using a really old wheel, you might want to just clean it up a bit first. You get your spanners and just undo the nuts on the axle. So the axle's off, cleans it all up. I just couldn't get this cone up. That doesn't matter because the L bracket is going to go against it like that, and then the nut's going to tighten against that now. Just going to tighten the L bracket up against it. So that's like that. So what I've got to do next is I've got to cut the axle down just so there's a tiny bit of it sticking out, only a few mil, because I don't want it to go all the way through the forks. I just want it to go to a tiny little bit into the fork groove. That means when I tighten it up, this part will tighten against the fork and not against the axle, so it's nice and snug. So I've got to measure this now, cut it down, and then get the other L bracket on. So I've got to measure this gap here, maybe just a tiny little bit smaller, so the axle doesn't go all the way through. I want it to just go a little tiny bit in like that, so when it squeezes together, it's not going to squeeze against the axle, it'll squeeze against the forks and keep it nice and solid in place. So I'm just going to measure that gap now and cut the axle down. So I'm just going to put another nut on this section here to secure it in place, and that's basically it. The skewer will go in and then done. So this is it. This is the completed product. It's kept the cone nuts off the axle on the inside there, and just tighten that nut against that side. That's got two nuts on that side because I couldn't get that one off. I had to use one nut from that side and that side, and then find another nut to use for this bit to clamp it on. I've also rounded out the ends of the L brackets, and I had to use a skewer off a front wheel because the other one was too long, the rear wheel one was too long. But luckily I had this lying around also. So that cost me £0 just from stuff I had lying around, scraps. Old busted up wheel off a road bike. You can use a mountain bike wheel as long as you've got a quick release axle and 2 L brackets. That's it, that's all you need. Now to buy something like this, I think the cheapest I found was maybe like £20, and then they went up more and more expensive. But for inside, underneath the bed in my van, this will be perfect for keeping my BMX in place. So all I need to do now is fasten it to the floor and see how it looks once it's all in place. So let's put it in. So I've just got to put the bracket into the fork, then I'll know exactly where my BMX is going to lie. Okay, screwed into place, now let's just secure it. Just changing the skew around to the other side. Yes, look at that. Not the prettiest of things, but it is practical and it cost me nothing. And there it is, all nice and secured, all in place, nice and tight. Doesn't go anywhere. I can lift it up like that, so I might put something in the back wheel, like a little strap maybe, eventually. And then I've got a hook there for the front wheel. So the front wheel hooks, then I've added extra storage hooks as well while I've just been at it. So front wheel hook, bike in place. That is the gas box, that isn't finished yet. But that's it for today. Looking pretty good if I do say so myself. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Drop us a like and a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.